and welcome to the Seahawkers podcast from the Podium edition. I'm your host, Brandon Schultz. The Seahawks got the preseason underway on Saturday, losing 32-25 to the Steelers on the road. Let's start things off with head coach Pete Carroll, who shared his general reflections on the game.
Got a lot done here tonight and saw where we are in some areas of our football that was really, really obvious. I love the way we ran the football. I thought the quarterbacks were really efficient. Protection was pretty darn good. We missed one shot in the big play at the end to execute that better. But we tackled really poorly tonight. And it's the first game, and that's what it looked like, And so we know where we got to focus, because all of the things that happened basically happened because our tackling was poor. I mean, otherwise, so we get off to a lousy start. But it's the old lesson again. It isn't how you start, it's how you finish. And our guys came roaring back. All the running backs ran well. The guys up front blocked really well, and we protected really well. And both the young tackles did a nice job and got some good stuff done. I can't wait to watch them on film. But just overall, the coaches were really pleased with what they accomplished today. Both quarterbacks were efficient. Really, Geno could have been 10 for 10. He had two drops, and Noah's got to stay in bounds on the ball on the sidelines, and he hits them all. And we moved the ball around pretty good with Drew also. So can't wait to get after the film and all that. But the glaring part of this game is our tackling was poor. And we didn't wrap guys up, and we didn't finish things off the way we need to. And that led to a lot of good stuff for them, and they capitalized on that.
Pete Carroll was happy with Geno Smith's performance, particularly in the 2-minute drill, and he also praised him for his mobility.
Excellent. It was a beautiful job, and just the way you want to do it. 146 or something like that, or whatever it was with the timeouts. It was just done exactly the way we want to. Great calling, job by the offensive coaches, and then Geno executed the whole thing, and guys came through and made their plays. Protection was great in the drive too. He moved really well, and Geno's always, he's been a fantastic athlete his whole career, and he just showed it. I thought he did a nice job. I think throughout the game, our protection was really good. And the times that we had rushes is when we got covered up a little bit. We didn't see what we needed to see, and we held the football and allowed them to rush it. The guys up front did a good job. So we'll see again. I got to look at the film.
Drew Lock, meanwhile, drew criticism for taking a sack that led to the fumble that gave Pittsburgh their game-winning drive.
Yeah, we could have handled that better. I want to get clarification exactly what the call was up front, but it looked like it was a hot off the edge, and he needed to see it and didn't see it. But
I guess until then,
that's possibly what happened. I don't have the clarification yet on whether we made the call to pick it or not.
On the defensive side of the ball, cornerbacks Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant struggled against Pittsburgh's wide receivers.
I thought they got beat around a little bit. They had plays to make, and maybe some jitters and all that first drive, and missed a tackle, for Woolen. Those guys can make all those plays. Every play that happened to them, they've been making, and so they'll do better. They'll do better. It was a great experience for them.
It wasn't all bad for the defensive rookies, though, as pass rusher Boye Mafe stood out with a couple of highlights.
I'm really anxious to watch Boye to see how he did, because he had a couple big plays. He might have missed one too, another one. So that's what we were hoping to see from him.
Here's Mafe on what he took away from the game.
For me, I learned about our team is that we don't give up. Honestly, we had a little rough first half, but we came back in the second half and we were ready to play. And we didn't bat an eye. Coach showed us not to bat an eye. We just came out of the second half and was like, let it rip. By myself, honestly, I just learned that I'm excited to play in this game. Ready to learn more, keep learning everything I can, and just learn about myself, honestly. And I feel as if, every day is just a learning time for me to learn about myself and things that I can improve on. And tomorrow is a time for me to go over the film, look over everything, and see where areas I can improve on.
Let's switch back over to the quarterback competition. Here's what Geno Smith made of the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half and his rushing touchdown to cap off the drive.
I feel like we just got into a groove, It was similar to this last year when we played here. We started out slow and then picked it up, right around the second quarter and then, into the second half. And so I felt like we got into a good groove, somewhere in the second quarter. And then obviously with the 2-minute, just pushing the tempo allowed us to stay on them. And then, being able to punch it in was really good for the team. Just trying to, see if I can get pop one to Kobe. And, the guy did a good job of playing over the top. He was running with him. And at that point, it just becomes a 2-on-1. It's like being a point guard on a fast break. You got the ball in your hands and either you dish it to someone else or you take it to the rim yourself.
The next Seahawks offensive play was a big completion from Drew Lock to rookie wide receiver Bo Melton.
Yeah, it was great. I like that as my first call out there, especially after how the first half played out, coming out of the half, warming back up. It was a great play call to start it off, and I talked to Bo about just making plays when the ball gets in his hands, and sure enough, that first play out there when we're together, he gets the ball in his hands and he makes a heck of a play. He was flashing out there for sure.
And now, here were Locke's comments on the aforementioned fumble.
I'll always be honest up here. Yeah, I could have handled that better. Could have flipped the pro, could have played it hot. As a quarterback, you're always able to fix those things. And I'll always take it on the chest, and I could have been better there.
Locke did have 2 touchdown passes on the day, one of which went to running back DJ Dallas. Here are Dallas's thoughts on the play.
It's just a mirror concept on both sides. I had a little option route over the middle. Mike Backer matched me, just made a move, broke out, caught the ball, made another move, and I think I caught our block from one of our receivers and just kind of finished it.
The third-year back got things done on the ground and through the air along with his teammates in the backfield. Here's why Dallas thought the Seahawks were so successful on the ground, rushing for 159 yards as a team.
The O-line, our O-line was firing off the ball tonight. Yeah, hats off to those guys. And it didn't really matter who was in there. Our O-line, Andy and Shane, they and Chief, they get those O-linemen right, and they work hard, and it showed tonight.
That's it from the press conferences. Statistical leaders included Drew Lock, who was 11 for 15 for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith was 10 of 15 for 101 yards. Dallas led the way on the ground with 10 carries for 73 yards, while Derek Young had 4 catches for 30 yards, and Bo Melton had 2 catches for 47 yards. Defensively, Joel DeBlanco led the way with 8 tackles, and Boye Mafe had 2 sacks. That'll do it for today's show. Thanks to Wilson Kahn for helping to produce this episode. Follow him out on Twitter at Wilson_Kahn, C-O-N-N. And if you want to become a member of the flock, be sure and go to getintheflock.com. Adam and I are going to be recording this week ahead of the game against the Chicago Bears, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, go Hawks.